You know, it is always something. First, my friend Mortimer borrowed my favorite pocket protector, and he got ink stains all over it. Now I understand that the cool thing is having a pocket protector for that pocket protector. Oh, so hard. Then I found out that the Survivor TV show has rejected my application because nerds don't fit their demographic. Dear me, it is always something. What's next?
Do you feel like it's always something when it comes to design decisions? Don't despair. We'll show you how to navigate through those challenges on today's Christopher Lowell Show.
And now my biggest dilemma is whether to wallpaper my bedroom in plaid or polka dot. I think it's time for a change.
Hi everybody, I'm Christopher Lowell. Have you ever had one of those days where nothing kind of seems to go right? You know what I mean? Yeah, good. Well, if it's not one thing, it's another. It's just always something. Well, today, it's all about facing those life challenges. You know, we are in constant contact with each and every one of you on the web all the time. And we know that just beyond having a really pretty place to live, some of you guys got some problems. You know, from those of you with allergies to those of you who have a lot of Mars versus Venus issues, you know, that his and her thing? Yeah. Just when you think it's safe to add a throw pillow, yeah, you realize that it's just always something. Sometimes there's opposition around every corner. Today we're going to tackle those life challenges and introduce you to people who have succeeded in overcoming them. Yeah, pretty cool. It's kind of about sort of soft courage. How's that? All right. Well, first, here's the perfect Mars versus Venus situation. He likes European French, she likes flea market Americana. What's a couple to do? With the help of designer Michael Buchanan, the couple you're about to meet not only solved their design dilemmas, but gained a marriage counselor to boot. We're off to Carmel, California. The question's not if a family can survive relocating, but can a husband and wife agree on furnishings and accessories without heading to the divorce court? Susan Allness, who faced that challenge. She and her family left their 6,000 square foot home in Westchester County, New York. They settled in the quiet community of Carmel, California.
My style is very much an American cottage, found object, funky, sort of eclectic approach. My husband's aesthetic is much more highly developed. Our old house was very contemporary. It was very much a product of my husband's interest in design. When the house was completed, we discovered that it was colder than we wanted it to be.
To ensure that their new cottage home reflected both Susan and her husband's styles, they called in designer Michael Buchanan, who served as both their mediator and designer.
Michael is a wonderful marriage counselor. He is able to take two very different competing points of view and find something in the middle that works for both of us. He put the fun back in designing for us because we bickered with one another over the design process in the old house.
When it came to the living room, Michael found a way to incorporate Susan and her husband's varied tastes.
In the living room, the coffee table is an Italian wrought iron gate that has been turned into a coffee table. There are French garden pieces, statuary that are used as accent items that are, again, more my husband's taste. There are wicker chairs and American-style wicker pieces that are much more my taste. And they're brought together to create a wonderful little ensemble.
One piece the couple agreed on was the side chair by furniture designer Richard Mulligan.
The aesthetic is very much American cottage-style furniture with very good workmanship, extremely high quality construction, and the high-quality construction appealed to my husband's taste. The American cottage feel appealed very much to my taste.
The blending of the couple's styles also holds true for the dining room, starting with his French mirror called a true mamère.
The dining room is small to begin with. The major pieces in the dining room are the dining room table and the sideboard, both of which are good quality current reproductions.
For an intimate hallway space, our couple agreed on the placement of an antique French desk and American portrait.
The hallway has a wonderful French antique desk and an American oil painting hanging over it. This was another one of the found objects. She is no relative of ours, though she's become a family member at this point, and we have a name and a mythology built around her. She's a family member. But again, it was that juxtaposition of a quality French piece and then a found object piece.
To keep things fun and whimsical, Susan displays her impressive cookie jar collection in the kitchen.
The kitchen is decorated with my cookie jar collection, an example of American folk art rather than really high culture or high art, and accent pieces of French lawn ornaments and French sculpture that are hanging on the wall there to bring together the two tastes, my folk art taste, my husband's more French tastes.
Believe it or not, the kitchen's not the only place where Susan's cookie jars are popping up. You'll find one in the bedroom. Yep, the bedroom.
In the bedroom, we have combined a French antique chair and another of my cookie jars to create an ensemble, a little reading area that has a French antique lamp, and again, those being the French antique being my husband's taste, the cookie jar being my more humorous touch. The mantelpiece has an American contemporary still life and then a French popper yard ornament piece that decorates the mantelpiece there.
So, can a family survive relocation? Well, of course they can. But can a husband and wife survive the process and challenge of furnishing a home together? Well, what do you think? They can do it.
Well, there you are. So a lesson here? Well, she wanted cozy and warm. He wanted sophisticated and chic. Well, designer Michael Buchanan was able to furnish them with both. Sometimes we designers are like bartenders, you know. You see, it's always something. Okay, when we come back, can a couple occupy the same tiny home office without getting a divorce? We'll see. That's up next. A big makeover. Hurry back. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about some of life's little challenges and how decorating can sort of sometimes help us overcome them. Here's the perfect example. We get a lot of viewer mail from retired couples, who have decided that rather than sort of sitting and rocking on the old porch, to go into business together. Now, rather than renting expensive office space, it's a matter of trying to do it from home. Okay, here's the challenge. Can two people who know way too much about each other survive in a 10 by 10 foot room? Day in and day out, kind of that Mars versus Venus meets the Odd Couple. It's sort of Mars versus Venus. Don't you love these lamps? They're by Lunares. I love them. Okay, here's the space that challenged our couple and us. Check it out.
Ooh, what a dump. This place is a disaster area, but you know what? It's going to be the perfect space to answer a lot of letters that we get all the time. Many of you, retired couples, are saying, you know what? We want to retire, but we're not going to just, put a lawn chair out on the front porch and just watch the world go by. These can be important, productive years. Now, the problem is when two people who know each other like really, really well and have been married for 25 years decide to go into business together, can they survive without killing each other, surviving in a space like this? Well, that's what we're going to prove. We're going to take this small office space. Now, the same thing will apply right at home, And we're going to try to figure out a way for her to have a space and for him to have a space, for her to have her taste level, for him to have his taste level. We're going to put a divider right in the middle of this space so they have their territories, you know. This way, they can kind of look at each other and they can kind of work together, but hopefully they'll be able to get along because everybody's got their space. It's kind of a Mars versus Venus thing. So the big question is, can an old married couple work together in a space this size and survive? Well, we're going to try real hard.
Okay, you two. I think you ought to, kind of do a little give and take thing here. Do you like this? No. Okay, whatever. It's always something. Now, the first thing we needed was a way to evenly divide this room into half so that everybody gets the same space. No cheating, no playing favorites, okay? Okay, let's take a look at this picture. Okay. This is a mess, isn't it? Okay. Now, even though this is a real office setting, think about the square footage in your own home. This is not real big here, okay? We need a place for her to have her thing, him to have him thing. Yeah, okay. Now, one of the things that you want to consider is that you want to, anytime you do a design project, is you want to get both couples involved in the process. Go to your mate. Don't presume that you can say, oh, well, he doesn't care about that. I'm just going to go do it. Because when the furniture arrives, he goes, what's that? And then you're really in trouble. Here, it's about bartering, okay? Sit down together and decide what you want. He's going to have his concerns. You're going to have your concerns. The woman is always Ariel. The man is always, I hate it or I love it, okay? Just be ready for that. So that was kind of what we faced. So let's check this out.
Honey, don't use the Post-it note for that. Baby doll, I hate it when you use the whiteout. Ugh! It's a Mars versus Venus thing. If you think at home annoying habits can be amplified, what happens when you go into the workplace? Well, that's what we're trying to solve. Mars versus Venus in the workplace. Now, how do you take a small space, so your rent is low, and create, well, what will eventually be a new lease on life where the two of you can be productive in your elderly years? Ooh, never say that. Okay. Well, one of the things we did is we looked at a designer called Jean Prouves. Now, he was a designer in the 50s, and he did these really cool things that were easy to kind of duplicate, and this is what we've done. We have taken this structure. Isn't this cool? Here again, straight lines. This is nothing but boxes on boxes on boxes on boxes. It's a very cool look, but we've done this to add a design element to this space while keeping it functional. Look at it up on the wall. Is this like too cool or what? Here you see we have a structure here, and we have a structure here. Now we have storage, and yet it appeals to the feminine sensibility in the sense that there is a design quality here. The guy goes, yeah, whatever. The woman goes, it's very, very designer. We love that. We've painted our space. We've added these cubicles, basically, which are very sculptural, which will hold all sorts of things. And we've created an entire space here. Now, in this particular space, we found a wonderful, well, it's sort of a vintage, retro, new again now furniture line that's actually inspired by the 50s, too. We like that. Because remember, the 50s was the heyday, all right? There's going to be a wonderful desk that goes here and all sorts of really great tchotchkes, and then we're going to show you that in the after. That's what this space is left clean. Now, here again, we're dividing spaces. So we've got a continuity of these shelves, which will hold all sorts of things, and, more importantly, a divider. Don't do that with your teeth, darling. It makes me nuts. Now she'll be able to see him do that, but he doesn't have to hear it. This is a plexiglass divider. Here and here. When we tear the paper off, you'll see the see-through, but that's after, and we're just saving that for you. In the center here is actually a solid wall, so when we're working in the cockpit, we still have our privacy, because if what he's doing drives me crazy, I can just hide over here. Okay? Sandwich time. Let's see how this works. Here, we've got a divider. Here's our plexiglass, and we have the unit here and here that's supporting this mechanism. Is that too cool or what? Let's go over here. This area is just like that area. Remember, we don't want him to say, how come you got that and I didn't get that? Okay? So this is what makes fights happen in offices, especially when you're really too close for comfort. So now we've got the plexiglass wall here, which will be, the paper will be removed and we'll be able to see the airiness of this. We have a solid area here, okay? Over here, we have a Prouves for him. Not in mass like for her, because she needs a place to hide her stuff, because she's more aerial. He's a little more grounded. He's going to be more concerned about his desk and his stuff. We talked about that already. Here again, as once the paper comes down, you will be able to look through here and see one continuous line that goes from here all the way through our plexiglass into the other space. He has his space. She has her space. We all must work together. The afters are next.
Okay, now we're going to see the after of our Mars versus Venus office, but first, how about a little review? All right, now one of the things people always say is, if you paint the walls a deep, rich color, it'll make it all close in. And you know what? That's just not true. This is called clay cotta. We love this color. And what this color does is it really is completely changing the dimensions of the very room itself. These Prouves shelves, which I'm going to show you how to make, are really wonderful. They have a sculptural effect. They handle lots of storage, and yet they really work. Let's take a look at the next picture. Now, one of the things when it comes to building in small spaces, wall to wall is the bottom line here. If you had a bookcase just sitting here, and let's say another bookcase just sitting here, what would happen was that space would look like you've crammed two small bookcases into an even smaller area. But by building it wall to wall, it makes it look as though you planned that space deliberately, and it actually makes the space look bigger. I always tell you, if you can't build out, build up. And if you can't build up, build wide. In this particular case, we've split the room in half and gained a tremendous amount of storage. So what that really means here is that you don't have to bring in more furniture. The furniture is built in. When you build in furniture, storage basically, which is what this is, then basically the rest of the room is now devoted to whatever else you need. All right? It's kind of a little optical illusion. Love that. Now, when we come back, our Mars versus Venus office is a match made in heaven. There is no way this couple's going to break up after working together in this space. I mean, if they did, it's probably because they have problems in, another room. Hey, like, the kitchen or the den. What were you thinking? She's always something. Hurry back. Love that color. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about overcoming those little challenges that life tosses our way and overcoming them by creating fabulous and functional spaces. Now, let's take a quick review of what we've done so far, shall we? All right. We started out with a room that looked like this. I know. Okay, yeah. Somebody could take that away. Let's go on to the next picture. Then we introduced color. Bam! Pump that up a notch, didn't it? Beautiful clay cotta, Prouves shelves, look fabulous. Okay, let's take a look at the next picture. All right, then we did a built-in to divide both spaces. This is one half of the space, and this defines that space very specifically, and it's great. Once you define a space, then you know exactly what you got left over, which is a really good idea. Do your built-ins first, shop for furniture second. Get it? Okay. Each person has light on both sides. Our plexiglass divider is right here in the middle that you'll see when it's all said and done. Okay? So, that's where we left off. Ready to unveil? Okay, let's do it.
Boy, I'll tell you, it's always something. I can't get that right. So you've decided that you want to maybe go into business with your significant other in your later years rather than going for retirement, right? You know, now you have to worry about learning computers and everything to kind of move along with the progress of history, right? Well, the fact of the matter is, when there's a Mars versus Venus situation, you have to make the same compromises in the office that you do at home. Now, before when you saw this space, it was basically a square box, a little 10 by 10 square box. We painted the background, we showed you how we've made these really terrific shelves, but now they're all painted out and they're beautifully merchandised. Don't you think? I do too. Now, one of the things that really makes this come together and makes this look a Mars versus Venus situation is because of the style of office furniture that we've chosen. Now remember, this couple is moving into their later years, yet this stuff is so hot, it's coming back now all over again. This is kind of a twist to the old sort of 40s and 50s style furniture. It's good old office furniture. It's beautifully well made, and it's from a company called McDowell Craig. We love it because everything's interchangeable. You can choose the top color, you can choose the base color, and you can also choose the chair color. It's very cool and very comfortable. But rather than doing something that's going to be trendy or locked in somewhere, this is a look that both of them will relate to. Now, on this side, he has more of a masculine feel with lots of chrome and stainless steel, which actually has become the accent through the entire space. Now, to go from here over to there, well, let's take a look. We've got this big divider here. Oh, I see something's interesting. Follow me. What about Betty Lou over here? Don't you love this? This sandwich of a magazine rack is basically just made of simple plywood, now supports this great big piece of plexiglass with a solid center, so she still has a little bit of privacy and he can't really look over her shoulder. But if he pulls something stupid, she can say, hey, knock it off, I see you in there, right? Now, what he has over here, no arguments. She's got to have over here, but we've got a little bit more to it. Here again, we not only have a matching desk, which is cool, and it's in a nice decorative green color, so she'll like that, even though he gets sort of that hardcore, it's a real office kind of feeling. Over here, we have a matching credenza, but then we just took the bookcase, put it up on top of the credenza. Doesn't that look cool? So that becomes a focal point for this room, and look at the amount of storage that we're getting in this 10 by 10 space. So those of you who are not, or just have a space in your home that you want maybe a couple of kids to use without them getting into trouble, you can really accomplish that in a very small space. We're building up instead of out. Now, over here, she wants a few more things, but he's worried that she's going to get too cluttery. So she's got a little magnet board here with all her, oh my, Arnold, George, I don't know, there's a lot of men on her board over here. Never mind, he can't even see me because he's working. Now, she's got a little side table, a little mood light, some candles, all the things that appeal to women. But as you walk in this space, it has a very sort of retro high-tech feeling to it. So I think we've answered the Mars versus Venus problem. He's got his privacy in a style that he can relate to. She's got a place for her things in a style that she can relate to. And there's a divider, which is something they both can relate to. So think of a space in your home that you want to be more productive in. This could absolutely be the way to go. Lots of great ideas in here. Hey, I see you. Knock it off. I hate it when he does that.
You know, sometimes we decorators end up as marriage counselors. True love. Who knew? Second honeymoon. Okay, so a little paint, some shelving, a little plexiglass, and before you know it, she has his side and he has her side, or she has her side and he has his side. It just becomes one big blur. It's heavenly Mars versus Venus. Who knew? Okay, later on, we're going to meet an inspiring lady whose entire life was turned upside down, but she survived thanks to some clever decorating ideas. And another marriage counselor, interior designer. Now, remember those shelves we just showed you? Yeah. In our Mars versus Venus space? Well, up next, I'm going to show you how to build your own. Hurry back. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about facing life's little challenges and easing things with decorating. Life gets bad, decorate it, right? Now, before the break, we showed you our Mars versus Venus office room makeover. Now, as you may recall, we built these wonderful storage shelves. Take a look at one of them there. Pretty cool, huh? Let's take another look at another arrangement. Pretty cool, okay? Those were made in 1950s by a designer named John Prouves. Yeah, he was really, really famous, and that's what our inspiration was. I'm sorry, John, we knocked you off. I'm going to show you how to make those. Now, this is really versatile. This can be everything from a great storage idea to a CD rack to whatever. And it's really, as always, it's about a little bit of plywood and a little bit of boxing. Just boxing. Yeah, put them up. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Okay? There you go. See that? Isn't that something? Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. No, there's more. Okay. We made that times thousands.
Lots of them. It's two pieces, put them together any way you want to. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. There's lots of them, okay? That's the big deal here. You make those, and you make them, and you make them, and you make them until you can't make them anymore. That's a challenge. Okay, now, what happens is this becomes the back wall, and these become the side walls. So this is what goes against the wall. So once you understand that concept, then you can start laying them out into any configuration that you want to. I mean, it's really limitless. You can put them together, you can separate them apart, okay? But what gives the shelf part, the part where you can actually put things on top of, are these long planks, okay? Now you get the idea, okay? Here's a shelf area, here's a shelf area. You can put and bridge a couple of shelf areas together any way you want to. Now the idea with the Prouves look is that there was always an overhang area like you see here, okay? Everything sort of felt very cantilevered. I could put another one down here, leaving this entire space open. I could take and put one here if I want, excuse me, whoops, here, like so. Cantilever over this way and add yet another one. So it's basically building these extraordinary mazes. Now, let's play with this even more. I could take, let's say, one like maybe here and here, so I've got some balance there. I could even put two of these together if I wanted to, sandwich it apart like so. Here again, the whole thing that makes these look really cool is this little ledge overhang on this side. Now, you could actually push these ledges way out if you wanted to and actually have a kind of thing where it's 1, 2, 3, where you have a stair step, which gives sort of an Art Deco look, which is very cool as well. And you build any way you want it, which is so fabulous. I mean, you could sit there, you could give like 12 of these to a kid, okay, and he could play all day long with these because it's just too much fun. Here I'm going to put one here, leaving a cantilever here, and a small little space here for, I don't know, a letter, a Post-it note, whatever. All right? Now, as we continue to play, let me show you kind of the configuration that we used in our office space. Here you see a more adult version. Okay, I thought I'm tired of playing. Okay. See this? Isn't this cool? Here you see one unit has been attached to the other unit. And here, again, once you have this unit, remember, this is the back, then it's a matter of securing it on both sides here, but then securing it here and here. And you build these basically in units off of basically the platforms. You see it here. You see another unit here. Okay? It's really a series of these. I know, it's really cool, isn't it? So here again, I can start with this. I can add, let's say, this to here, but then have more fun. I can add more in here. I can build it down. I know the tendency is to do it. I keep doing that, but the tendency is to stay down here. And I can build it kind of any way I want to, okay? So the idea is, with just this little thing and this flat thing, you got this great big ticker toy that can be anything you want it to be, and it doesn't have to be this size. These can be this big if you want to. Doesn't matter. Add a little beautiful wall color, paint them some decorative colors. You see them here, and you see another entirely different arrangement there. Isn't that cool? Love that. Okay. Now, looking for a way to just sort of sit back and relax and unwind? Well, up next, we're going to show you what all that lazy boys are doing this year. It's kind of lazy, it's kind of a boy, it's a lazy... It's about chairs. Hurry back. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about life's challenges. Okay, here's a real big challenge for you. I know, ladies, this one is for you. You know, you have those chairs like that sitcom Frasier, his father, the recliner, the lazy boy thing. Yeah, well, trying to decorate around it? Well, this is interesting. Do you know this is actually a limited edition of the original Lazy Boy? Yeah, it started out looking like this. And this actually does recline. This says limited edition original reproduction. Okay, cool, right? Well, over the years, they got more padded and they actually adopted a thyroid condition and they got bigger and bigger and bigger. not only have they gotten bigger, I know you're saying, oh, please, I can't get rid of the one he has. Now you're going to show him a new one? Yeah, but this one's really cool, and it's great. It's big and fat, and it's fluffy, and it's not quite so hard to decorate around. This one's called the Oasis. Okay. And, you know, it does everything a real recliner does. It does that whole tilt back thing. But let's look in this side first, shall we? We're going to go in here and see, yes, this flips up. Hello. And in here is a telephone. So cool. Okay. Also in here is a whole massagey thinger. It's called the relaxer. So this is more fun than you could ever have in a chair by yourself. Okay. All right. And on this side, we're not done. This flips up, and on this side, it's a cooler. So I guess if you're lazy enough that you don't even go into the kitchen, who knows? Okay, there you go. But there's more. Let's go over to this other lazy boy. Oh, now this one here is called the Explorer. Yes, indeedy. Okay. It does the reclining and all that stuff, and it has the thing that comes up and all of that. And, ooh. Okay, now this one flips up too. This one, it's like traveling first class. Don't you love this? Take a lettuce so you can work here, okay? And then on this side, you have a little area for your little files and your little cola. Oh boy, I don't know. I'm sorry, ladies. I just had to show the guys this. Just don't let them watch this, okay? All right. Now, joining us now to show us how we can actually have contemporary lines and proper body support all in one, I think they call it ergonomics, yeah. From Healthy Back, let's welcome Cliff Levin.
Good to meet you, Christopher.
How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I gotta get a ladder to get, okay, you're so tall. Now, you know what? We have these actually in our offices.
Fantastic.
And we love these chairs. What are these called?
They're called Herman Miller Aeron chairs.
It's the Aeron chair. The problem is we can't figure out, there are so many ways to adjust this that we can't figure out how to do it. So will you show me how to adjust
I
these?
certainly will. First
Okay.
of all, I want
Yeah.
to show you a chair that doesn't fit. How about that?
Oh, now you see, I would have gravitated to the big chair. I would have said, well, this is the big chair.
Now, if you sit back all the way, you'll discover, though, that the backs
Oh,
of
yeah.
your knees
Yeah, I
hit the
feel-
bottom of the
yeah,
chair.
yeah, good. Okay.
Not a good thing. This
So I
chair,
need a smaller chair.
yes, let's try this one.
Oh,
And you
yes.
can see
this is
how it
perfect.
is.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Like any good ergonomic chair, there are lots of adjustments.
What does that mean, ergonomic?
Ergonomic is the science of how tools interact with people.
Cool.
Yes,
Okay.
And it's very popular right now.
Cool. Okay, so back here, show me that lumbar thing, because I got
Sure.
one literally at my arm, and I can't figure out how to adjust it. How do you do it?
Lean forward just a little bit, and I'll
Okay.
show you how this actually moves up and down. Whoops. If you can lean forward a little bit more.
A little bit more? Can I help you out
there.
a sec?
Now I adjusted it way down, and you can see how
Oh, cool.
it
Oh,
disappeared.
yeah. Okay.
And the arms on this particular chair also go up and down. I'll show you how that works.
They go. Oh,
They go up and
that's
down,
so cool.
and you want to adjust them so your elbows are about,
And they
90
go out like this.
They
I
go
mean,
out.
there are like 42 adjustments.
A
So you can
gajillion
actually,
adjustments, yes.
you can actually completely form this to your body.
Exactly.
How cool is that?
Yes.
Now this one here is a little bit of a tricky chair because it looks like just a normal chair.
Sort of. It's called a body built chair.
Okay.
And it's
Let me
built to
try
your
this
body.
one.
Go ahead and have a seat. And I want to show you one thing this chair does that's really neat. Lean all
My
the-
tush is going to be so confused by the end of the segment.
Lean all the way
Oh
back.
my,
And imagine that you're spending a whole day on the telephone.
Oh my.
Or
Or
sleeping.
just sleeping.
Sure.
This is very cool. Do these adjust as well?
They adjust as well.
Okay.
They adjust up and down and in and out.
In and out. Oh, I love this one. Oh, this is very cool. Now, what is this here?
That is a footrest.
Okay, what do we do with this?
The footrest is a great reminder to sit back in a seat. When you put your feet up on this, there's no way you're going to slouch. It'll become very
you're
uncomfortable
right.
for you to slouch.
Oh, okay. So this is a back saver, basically.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And the wonderful thing about this is that it actually adjusts. So if you're shorter and you need a higher footrest,
Like me.
there you go.
That's cool. I get it. Turns
And if you want a
over.
massage.
Oh, so you actually take your shoes off.
take your shoes off.
This is getting way too comfortable. We are fusing living and working. I don't know.
Exactly.
Let's go over here and see some more.
Sure.
Okay. Now, let's see. Now, this looks like it's going to tell me something. What is this? This is a cutaway of...
Yes.
Is that what this is made out of?
That's what's inside of this.
I had no idea. I thought that was just foam in there.
In most chairs, it is. This is a Healthy Back Perfect Comfort chair, and the construction of this has these ribs in it, and if you squish down right here, you'll feel
Oh, yeah.
how that back really gets.
Yeah, I can feel that there's space between here and here.
Right. And the idea is that it perfectly conforms to the curve of your back.
Cool. This is interesting. How do you sit on? Do you sit like this?
Well, not
No,
exactly.
no, that doesn't work.
We're going to spin you around, and you want to put your knees right there,
Oh, my knees go there.
and you're behind right there. Yep. Now, do you remember when
actually, this is very comfortable.
Yes. And you remember when your mother told you to sit up straight? It's virtually impossible to slouch in this chair.
This is amazing. Can you spend a long period of time in this position?
A couple of hours in that position.
Really?
If you're going to spend more than a couple of hours sitting still, you probably want a chair with a back.
This is very cool. Love this.
Mm-hmm.
Now that looks very high tech. It looks like a lawn chair, basically.
It is sort of a lawn chair, only it does have a high-tech twist, and it has an ergonomic twist.
Now it starts out folding up like this, right?
That's right.
Here you see it in a different colorway. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this, then, let me turn this one out.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Ooh.
Hook your ankles
Oh,
under.
this is very deceiving. This is very comfortable.
I'm going to adjust this cushion. Hook your ankles
this in.
under.
Okay.
Go ahead and push up. And keep on going.
Bye-bye.
Now you can, do you feel
This is great.
you can feel it releasing pressure on your low back?
Totally.
Yes. It's a wonderful, comfortable, zero gravity
Is
position.
this good? Can you put this outside as well? Well, evidently not. Oh, this is wonderful. So this is indoor-outdoor?
This is indoor-outdoor. Yes.
Cool. Okay, how do we get out of this now?
Push down. There you go.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Stand right up.
There's little locks under here, right?
Yes, it does. So you
Cool.
can lock in intermediate positions.
And then we have this one, the big kahuna.
Yes, indeed.
So this is sort of like the new recliner.
And that's only the beginning.
Okay. Uh-oh. I have a toothache right here. If you could just give me Novocaine right now, can you? Oh, it's like a dentist chair.
That's a different show.
That's a different show. Oh, my.
And as we go back, once again, you'll feel your low back relax. You feel a little tug right here on your knees.
Certainly, yes.
And you'll be asleep in about 5 minutes.
Mama.
Now,
Oh. And I can also use this
yes,
as my
indeed.
little recliner.
I'm
That's
going to
nice.
raise you up a little bit.
Going to raise me up because I have to read that because I have to look in the camera and I have to say, now when we come back, we're going to meet, oh, this is actually pretty cool, a very inspiring lady whose dilemma had more to do with staying alive than design. Hurry back.
Good night.
Love this. This was great. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about some of life's challenges and how decorating can help us overcome them. Well, sort of. Now, what would you do if you woke up one day to discover that you were fatally allergic to everything in your home? And the only way you could survive it was to build a brand new, chemically safe, and allergy-free home. Well, that is exactly what happened to the inspiring lady that you are about to meet next. Come along as we head off to sunny Florida to meet Dana Hope. In 1997, Dana Hope was very happy with her life in Islamorada, Florida. She was a teacher, and she lived in a very nice home with a cheerful tropical decor. But then, everything changed.
A few years ago, I had an injury, and that injury resulted in damage to my immune system. And the result of that was severe allergic disease. And I became so allergic to so many things that the doctor recommended that my husband build a prescription house for me. My doctor that guided me in what to bring into this house said, if you can use as much cotton as possible, without dye, without Scotchgard, metal and stone, solid woods, and if you have to use something that is of a wood in the furniture in the bedroom, possibly wicker, rattan, natural products, instead of a lot of fiberboard that has glue and adhesive in it.
Once the home was built, she began to recreate her tropical style.
This is our living room. Because there's so much beige and it's monochromatic before you put anything into it, I needed a splash of color. This is a picture of Man of War Cay in the Bahamas, and one of the healthiest places I know is the Bahamas, so this is a very healing vision for me here.
A local artist painted the mural using special organic paints. Besides adding color to the room, the mural camouflages the plugs and speakers along the wall.
Because the allergist had recommended that we have as few surfaces in the room as possible, we decided to recess the television and the stereo, which is back here in this closet. This was part of the master closet that was sacrificed for an electronics room. In this corner, I needed some greenery. I used a combination of natural and silk plants. The silk is good because it can be hosed off or just dunked in the sink and rinsed off and stay dust-free that way. There are a lot of plants that allergists recommend to people who are allergic to chemicals, and they actually filter the air.
The big concern in the kitchen was finding surfaces that would be kept very clean.
We tried to focus as much with natural products and solid surfaces as possible, things that could be wiped down very easily with vinegar and water for cleaning. The Corian countertop is maintenance-free just about, and the cabinets are solid wood with a light pickling. I wanted to add some whimsy to the room and was able to use some accessories like different kinds of knobs on drawers, turtles and stars, conch shells up here.
Dana wanted a romantic look in the bedroom, and she used the special paints to sponge the walls.
In this room, the most important issue for me was the furniture not being off-gassing a lot of chemicals. So I chose the wicker, lightly pickled, and this isn't something that would cause a problem for me. Fabrics that were used here are tightly woven. I had asked the allergist if I could have any curtains in the house, and he said absolutely not. And I said, well, I do need some in the bedroom to soften the look. And he said, well, if you're going to use curtains, they need to be something with a tab top and maybe a swag that can be easily taken off, rinsed off, and hung back up again. So this is the only room where you're going to see curtains in this house. These Pella doors actually have the blinds placed between the panes of glass, and by turning these strings here, you can change the blind's direction.
One of the most unique features of this prescription home is the location of the dining room.
Instead of having a dining room inside the house, because we wanted to have as few pieces of furniture as possible, this is where we eat at night, and it's a very nice atmosphere with the stars overhead and the moon overhead and fresh air.
Dana does have a guest area which contains some of the furniture from her previous home. She is careful not to spend a lot of time there.
This is a guest living room. It's the only room in the house that'll have a lot of color in it as far as on the walls, the paint. That's because it's furthest away from the general area where I stay.
This home really is a refuge for Dana.
This building was built with natural products so that I can heal, and it's a clean environment for me. I'm able to go out periodically, and when I get into things that aren't good for me, I can come back here, and I know that I have the filtered air, the filtered water, the area that's not going to have fibers from carpets. It's a very safe area. It's a healing area.
Well, there you see it. Thanks, Dana. You really did a great job. Okay, let's take a look at a little viewer mail, shall we? This is kind of an interesting letter. This is from a woman named Betty, and she's from Kansas. She writes, Dear Christopher, I was always a you-can-do-it type until an illness took away the use of my left side. Wow. Watching your show gave me the courage to try again. Here is a photo of a table and lamp I redid. Evidently it was so successful, she says, now I'm thinking about a plan for my bedroom furniture. How cool. Let's take a look. All right. She took this. Remember, only being able to use one side of her body. And look at what she did. Isn't that terrific? I love that. You know, it's really interesting. We get letters all the time from hospitals all across the country who actually they play this show, and evidently it gives people a sense of well-being. I love that because it makes us, and as hard as we work, it's a nice payoff for all of us because we really work really hard to make this show terrific for you guys. So we're glad that you tune in each and every day. Well, it looks like we've kind of run out of time, and that is our show for now. You know, it's always something, isn't it? I know. But seriously, I'm glad we were able to spend some time together. It really means a lot. And today we've talked about facing the challenges that life brings our way. And when you really think about it, life really is one big challenge after another. But as long as we take them one step at a time and understand that life, in essence, well, is like a riddle, then it kind of becomes fun. Dilemmas don't last very long, everything in its stride. Do you know that physically the only difference between fear and excitement is frame of mind, it's attitude. Both situations will race the pulse and the anxiety raises up. That's it. It's simply how you choose to look at life. So instead of bracing yourself for the worst, condition yourself to see challenge as potential, full of promise, brimming with expectations and bright tomorrows. Okay? Try it. You can do it. Bye for now.